Hey, what's going on, guys? Just a real quick update of my positioning, and I want to check in on you guys because I know it's been a volatile roller coaster, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in some previous videos that they're gonna use the Rolodex of distractions, in this case the China tariffs, which, for God's sakes, how many times are they gonna go back to that playbook? That this is like the 5th or 6th time the China tariffs are on or off. And you just know that Jinping and Trump and the powers that be are just snickering or posting memes in their private Telegram or Discord about, hey man, watch this, I'm about to dump the market. Okay, just let me get positioned and then wait for me to give the green light before you pump it again. So it's just ridiculous. I'll say it one more time just so to hammer the point home. News follows the markets, not the other way around. The market is going to do what it's going to do, and any news or narrative or headlines you see is just them coming up with that BS on the spot to make it give the illusion that, oh God, this is why the markets are down. Look at this horrible news. Everything's going to tank. Sell everything. So that's what's going on. You must recognize this pattern. You have to really ingrain in your head that everything is just a distraction. I've been posting on X. I coined the new term for these Robinhood toxic bulls and shills, the hood rats. You know, very similar to the palantards. The hood rats were going on in full force. I had an online beef with some douchebag, but the guy got so butthurt when I took a little jab at him, and he was playing victim. He accused me of taking joy in watching people lose money, and that is anything but the case. Just for the record, maybe he'll see this again. So his name is Sergio Pep Moonboy, and at first I started out as a fan of him because he has some heartfelt posts that, okay, this guy's like me, immigrant, parents worked their asses off, never had money, now he has an awesome job and he's learning the stock market, he's trying the whole selling options thing. I'm like, okay, I like this guy, maybe we'll be online buds. And we started off that way, and I mean, I'm nothing compared to him. He has like 35,000 followers, so he blows me away in that department. But over time, I noticed that just regurgitated AI slop for most of his posts, and people called him out on it because you can look at the ChatGPT signs that it was AI generated. And then what's worse, what really got me to just not like this guy anymore is that he's 35% invested in the hood stock, and he's telling his followers and shilling every day that Robinhood is going to hit 10 trillion or whatever the hell it was. And granted, it's true that he said, if you look at all screenshot portfolios, it's always on Robinhood because this is new money. The boomers, and I guess I'm in the category now, we used the OGs. I use Thinkorswim and Schwab. People use Tastyworks, Tasty Trade. They use Fidelity. They use all sorts of things. All the new money, the degenerates, and always the first one is free. They're all using Robinhood. They're all posting their 7-figure accounts and this and that. And that's great, right? But don't continue to tell people to buy extreme overbought levels. That is just irresponsible. And then he likes to flex saying, I never said this was financial advice. See, there's a disclaimer in my profile, not financial advice. That's a fucking cop-out answer. And my main beef is that if you are truly on the side of good and you're looking out for your people and your followers who don't have nearly as much money as you, they're fucking poor. That's why they look to you for advice. And that is a fact. People on Fintwits, on X, they look to these people for a little edge, for financial advice. Don't bullshit me saying that you don't. Anyone, I take full responsibility. I'll be like, my bad. If someone follows my dumb play and they lose money, ultimately you are responsible for your losses, but I will take the blame as well for leading you down that path. So I don't believe that bullshit for a second. And yes, I believe, even though Robinhood is still at extreme overbought, I think he's doing a huge disservice. He's going to cause a lot of bag holders by telling people to buy Robinhood stock at these levels. And don't get me started on Robinhood stock itself. That is an evil, evil company, and people have memories of a fucking goldfish. Lest we forget, in 2021, when the retail finally scored a victory against the insiders and Wall Street and the hedge funds, the one time the average Joe scored a victory from their awesome due diligence about the phenomenon that is short squeeze with GameStop and how it related to a company back in the day. I think, what was it, Lamborghini, Ferrari? But there was a similar phenomenon about short squeezes. And they did it, and they fucking won. But lo and behold, it was all the rich guys banding together to fuck us over once again. They halted trading, they disabled the buy button, all sorts of outages, and you had a tiny window to actually take profit on that massive short squeeze. And had they not pulled those shenanigans, GameStop would have hit, I don't even doubt that it would have hit four figures, like $1,000. And another reason that Elon is probably on the side of us, because he was like GameStop at the height of that squeeze. So he wanted a little victory for the little guys. Even though he's part of the club, he likes to sneak in when he can, just a little sign that yes, he's looking out for humanity. But anyway, Robinhood is an evil company that Bulgaria Vlad dickhead is on the side of these rich assholes, and he will not hesitate to fuck you over again. Just another recent example, during the crypto crash over the past weekend, I heard all sorts of stories and outages where Robinhood was just lagging, that you couldn't get your buy orders through, that by the time the dip was over, it was too late to get that big ass discount if you were trying to buy. And just everything combined, Robinhood is bad news for all investors in the long term and for the little guy, the middle class, because you look at it on the surface, it's amazing, right? It's a one-stop shop for all things investing. You can have your checking, your savings, you can open up a credit card, your IRA, your brokerage account, your crypto, and I just found out that they have sports gambling. Yes, the most degenerate form of gambling that is super addicting, and all odds are stacked against you. They know the algorithms to screw you out of your money, especially with sports gambling. So just think of it, average Joe, because his purchasing power gets more destroyed as time goes on, he needs a little edge. And I've been actually saying this, maybe I shouldn't be, but people need an edge to just afford the basic rights that we had, that boomers and Gen X and early millennials take for granted. That is buying a house, raising a family, just having a cushion for retirement, having some middle class standard of living. But Gen Z and broccoli heads, they can't do it by working their 9 to 5. If they have a job in the first place, they gotta YOLO, they gotta take all their fucking savings they can scrap up and put it into this degenerate shit, which is crypto and options and meme stocks and this and that and sports gambling. And it's just a recipe for disaster because they're desperate. And I just got my bi-weekly paycheck of $1,500. Let's put it into some YOLO options. And 98% of those will always expire worthless, so they lost their paycheck. Even worse, maybe they go on margin and they get charged margin interest. And then you see the cycle, the trap. It's a trap. It's a trap, like the Star Wars guy said. They might give you one, or you might think you're a genius and get a big victory, but you're gonna give it all back and then some. And sports gambling, I'll repeat, is the worst. And then that's just check all of Dave Ramsey's people. Yes, Dave, I charged 50 grand on leverage and margin, and I was up 200 grand, but then I lost it all back. And Dave Ramsey is like, so you didn't take any profit, and you're even worse off than you are with 60 grand debt because of interest. Yes, Dave. And he just shakes his head like this. That's what is heading for the overwhelming majority of these so-called Robinhood maxis. And anyone that is just deflecting or saying you're full of shit, that's not what it is, Robinhood is on the side of the little guy. Chamath has a freaking S-Pack he wants to sell you. Don't be so freaking naive. The stock market in general is a way to extract wealth from the working class. So yes, I'm gonna call out that Sergio. I wasn't gonna call him out, but I'll call out one final time. And yeah, you're gonna get rich because you got in early. You said $50, but all your followers are gonna FOMO in and they're gonna bag hold and they're gonna block and mute you and say, fuck that guy who made me FOMO into Robinhood. You said not financial advice, but they're taking financial advice from you, my friend. I mean it when I say it. You started hurling insults at me, saying this and that, and I'm a little boy and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'm trying to save your soul, brother. Don't become another toxic shill, hood rat that just sells a pipe dream to all these people that causes them to lose money. Be on the side of good. God knows we need to fill that void, and that's what I'm trying to do. Enough of Robinhood talk, but going on to me, I've been posting frequently on X that I am short-term very, very bearish, because follow me now. We are in the late stage of the cycle. We need to have that exit liquidity blow off top before the final rug pull and we go into recession and bear market. So this right here, some doomsdayer bears are saying that, oh, the top is in, sell everything. No, this is just the dip before the final blow off top, in my opinion. I think so. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times with time frames and stuff. But think of it from a rich insider's perspective. You think they're gonna have a blow off top when things are already way high at extreme overbought? No, they want a discount. Even though they have billions and billions, they're still greedy motherfuckers. So if they have connections and they have the ability to manipulate the market, they're gonna dump it on purpose, which is what our boy Mango Man Trump did when he said, China tariffs, deals off, Xi Jinping's a dickhead. He made fun of my hair. And he said I had a little dick because he saw it on South Park. So tariffs 500%. And the market dumped like it did. And now people got positioned because the freaking market did tank, crypto especially. They were able to execute their buy orders. Now, since they got a little better average trade price, they pumped it. And Trump over the weekend said, oh, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. And also, fuck you to Eric Trump, that motherfucker. 10 for 10. He's like, buy the dip. And then the crypto promptly crashes after. In my opinion, so for the record, I am short-term bearish. I'm still very long Tesla and crypto and small caps. But I didn't think I was going to go this hard into long puts, which is shorting the market, because I'm done with the whole naked call thing. But short puts, I have around $60,000 of NLV of long puts. That means I have a 60K bet that I'm shorting the market right now. And that is I'm shorting the NASDAQ, the S&P. Unfortunately, I'm shorting AMD because that OpenAI pump was ridiculous. And there's a huge gap at like 160, 170. I'm shorting Robinhood because fuck the hood rats. I'm shorting Palantir because that thing, it's just been stagnant and it's just outperformed so much. It needs to cool off a little bit before resuming its run up. And I shorted Netflix because I thought with the whole Elon crusade that would take a hit because, again, going back to the news follows the market mentality. But so far, so good. I am not negative on my long putts. I had a huge opportunity to take profits earlier, but I didn't because I think my hunch is we have a dead cat bounce. Jerome Powell's supposed to talk this week or today. And I think people are so conditioned to buying the dip that they're going to Pikachu face when the dip buying doesn't work. And we'll see what happens. But either way, I'm okay. Like, it's funny in a matter. My wife says, stop doing gambling and you're stressing out. This buying long putts is in a weird way making me stress out less. Because if I was uber 100% long right now, I'd be pissed again. I'd be like, fuck, I should have took profits. Fuck, my portfolio is not all-time high anymore because you always measure your all-time high. You base your performance off of that benchmark. And then I'd be pissed that I'm draining and bleeding out. But now I'm almost kind of rooting for the market to go down in a weird way. Because yes, overall I'm losing money, but if the market dumps, I will get a big payday from my shorting. And if I'm wrong, I'm not going to let it go to zero, but I'll lose out on tens of thousands of dollars, but I'll take the loss, and then I'm still overall long. So this is something I've worked on personally that I wanted to do. Sorry about that. I had to take a little break, and I know the background isn't that great. And no, I'm not at a Wendy's dumpster. I'm not that broke yet from shorting the market. Guys, you need to follow YX Insights right here. He's on YouTube. He's on X. His ascension on X is pretty impressive. He's going to hit 10K followers before you know it. Him and his G5 chart especially have kind of helped me navigate this freaking screw job and just the market volatility in general. So he's probably my favorite TA analyst. So make sure you follow YX Insights. He will make you money as long as you don't have a bias. And going back to what I was saying, that in a weird way, that shorting the market, even though I may ultimately end up losing money, it's making me have mental clarity. I'm not too biased. I'm kind of neutral in the short term. Whether the market goes up or down, I'll be okay. Obviously, it'd be nice to be perfect and make money on the dip, and then even more, that my plan is to use those profits from shorting to buy the dip and reload AMD, reload Tesla, reload EMNR, and I want that 10K link bag, just all those things. So, and I know it's tough, because don't get me wrong, it sucks to see your portfolio go down, and I know exactly how some of you guys are feeling that are overall bullish, and maybe you didn't hedge like I did. So just to clarify one more time, no, don't panic sell everything. No, we're not in a bear market yet. Just stay long, and I will make sure to tell you when I am 1000% sure, for me at least, when it's time to get out. And yeah, I'll be a cop out, not financial advice like Sergio, so maybe I see why he does that. Maybe I'm a hypocrite, but no, I understand that even though I don't have a lot of followers and subscribers, and I truly appreciate all of you, that some of you guys do look to me for advice, because just learn from my mistakes, learn from my experience, because it's not my first rodeo, and I do have a better handle in general on how to navigate this shenanigans that we deal with day in, day out. So finally, for the last time, stay long, stay strong, buy the dip, but slowly, don't go all out. Stay off of margin. God, I didn't even touch upon that. The reason crypto crashed so much is because it wiped out anyone on leverage and margin. It's like a clean reset. So just take that as a and I hate, God bless these people. I don't know if it's fake bots or fake news, but if people truly did take their lives, that is never the answer. Rest in peace. But that just means they went way too hard, way too much leverage, and they were gambling with money they couldn't afford to lose. You must be honest with yourself and only invest what you're willing to lose, especially when it comes to crypto. Yeah. We'll see what the rest of the week brings. We continue to run up, but the market is always changing. There's a general game plan, but they like to move the goalposts. They like to change the time frames. So you can't have a permanent bias. And I'm getting slightly better these days. You have to recognize, okay, I'm wrong. Let's pivot. And I will be ready to pivot if my shorts get blown out. Thankfully, they're just long put options, and I'm not outright shorting or doing naked calls where the losses can be unlimited. I'm just doing a defined risk trade. That's what it's called, defined risk. All right, guys, I hope you guys make a lot of money. Bull off top is still on the horizon. Crypto, you can't have a euphoria phase without altcoins. Remember that, okay, guys? I'll talk to you later. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and peace. Bye.